What's up, guys? I was gonna do the Q&A video tonight, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that tomorrow, or if not the next day, because I left you guys on a pretty dark note. So I wanted to do an update with regards to my health and my current condition and all that. Um, I'm getting better, which feels which feels good to say, because it started to get to the point where as you could probably tell, it felt like I wasn't, like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. Which, when you're sick and you don't have nutrition in you and you're feeling depressed, that's not a good place to be. So I'm still not quite at 100%, but I'm sitting around 75, 80. I'm starting to eat again. There's foods aren't hurting my chest, and I'm not having the shortness of breath, at least not nearly as much. It seems to happen the most right after I wake up, or during my sleep. If I wake up to go do something like go to the bathroom, my chest does seem to be a little tight, but it's definitely not nearly as bad as it was. If you guys remember, my symptoms were, I was having mainly just the tightness in my chest, which was also giving me a shortness of breath. And then I was salivating like crazy. I had to carry around like this spit cup. It was pretty gross, but I had to walk around with it all day because I was spitting everywhere. Saliva was just falling out of my mouth, and I had a hoarse voice, and I was sweating constantly. I think the sweating came from the fact that I was just, it may have just been from the fact that I was preparing myself to drop dead at any moment. Because that's what it felt like when your chest is that tight and you can't put a finger on why it's happening. You know, I wasn't smoking, I wasn't doing anything to strain myself at all. So it's scary when that's the case and your chest is still really tight and you have the shortness of breath. And when you start to get any sort of anxiety on top of that, it just amplifies it, because chest tightness and shortness of breath is a very common side effect of anxiety and anxiety attacks. So I had to become like almost a monk at just staying completely calm in any situation, and just letting my body heal. Because it's scary as fuck when you think you're about to drop dead at any moment. I mean, I did have these like spurts of acceptance, and like, you know, if I gotta go now, then you know, I guess I can't really control that. But you can't really stay at a point of acceptance for too long before you get scared again. At least that's my experience. So it was just a very dark place. But sometime around the 23rd, 24th, I want to say, I started to see improvements, and I was able to breathe again, at least for some parts of the day, and the window of time that would last started getting bigger and bigger, to the point where I'm at now, where, you know, I'm able to eat things again. I'm still avoiding heavy things like beef and lots of fats and lots of sugar, but for the most part, I've put 20 to 25 pounds on since you last saw me. So that's good. So I want to go over where I had gone, because I mean, I still haven't figured out what the fuck the problem was. I had gone to the ER. I wrote it down right here. I had gone to the ER, and then I went to the hospital again. And then I had gone, but both times at the ER, they just ran some tests on me. They did some blood work. The first time they did the blood work, I had almost passed out, which was weird. I mean, it was fucking crazy. It was just crazy. And it really scared the shit out of me. But then I had gone to a cardiologist, which was when you guys saw me, and they did the stress tests, and they put the heart monitor thing on me for that day. When I took that back, it didn't do anything. And I had gone to see the psychologist prior to that. My psychologist, Dr. Boris, great guy, but still no luck. After the cardiologist, and they told me, I took my heart thing back to them, and they brought it up on the computer. They said that my heart was doing some weird stuff at night while I was sleeping, but nothing to be too concerned about. And they just said to take the propranolol when I was having when my heart rate was increasing. After the cardiologist, I went to a gastrologist. I don't know what it is. They They did some small tests on me. That lady was very nice, but they couldn't find anything, so they scheduled me for an endoscopy, and that was scary as shit. My endoscopy was on the 17th, and my uncle took me, since you can't go by yourself since they sedate you. That was pretty fucking scary, because I've only had one surgery before in my life, and I have no memory of it. I was really young, and I tried to go off some big jump thing in my backyard on my big wheel that I had gotten for Christmas, and I gave myself a hernia down here near my abdomen, and they had to fix that. But I have no memory of the whole situation. I just remember my mom telling me about it, which is weird because I have a notably good memory of my whole life up until this point, but that situation I have no memory of. But this was my first time taking myself into the pre-operation room, and the nurses there were nice, but they were still kind of stern. They were some black ladies, and one of them held my hand while they were preparing me for the surgery, and they tried to stick me in my hand like 4 or 5 times before they told me, your veins are really small in your hand, so we're just going to go up near your elbow. And that was fine. I always get the shots in my elbow, like when they're putting the thing in you for an IV or whatever. I don't know why they were doing it at the top of my hand, but that was really annoying, especially when you're sitting there half naked in the gown thing, and anyway, they got me all ready, and they wheeled me into the procedure room, and they told me to lay over on my side, and they didn't even tell me when they were going to start giving me the sedation stuff. I just remember getting, kind of tired or whatever, but not even notably tired. I just kind of closed my eyes, and next thing I know was I woke up, and my uncle was sitting next to me, and I had felt like I had only had my eyes closed for maybe 15 seconds. And I was like, okay, nobody's here though, so I need... first they had put this thing in my mouth with like a circle in it, and you hold it there with your teeth, just the power of your jaw resting, and it holds your tongue down, so that's so they can get down that's so they can get down into you with the camera while you're sedated. Yeah, so I just remember waking up, and my uncle was there, and I was like, hey, I don't think they gave me enough sedation. Are they going to come in here and just do this while I'm awake? And he was like, no, they're done. That was really weird, because it was about a 2 or 3 hour thing, but it felt like I was only out for a couple seconds. Like, it's as somebody who as a person who recreationally explores consciousness, I don't like having my consciousness just blip out like that and then just wake up and it's been a couple hours. And because when you're asleep, you know that you've been asleep, and you're like, you feel kind of sleepy or whatever. I felt nothing. I felt like I had just been laying there. So yeah, if you guys want to see it, here's my this is NSFL, or yeah, NSFL. This is pretty bad. Here's my this is pretty gnarly. This is my endoscopy pictures. Here those are. Right? Isn't that gnarly? Ew! Oh, what is that? Oh, what is that one? No, this one. Oh, isn't that disgusting? Oh. That's gnarly. I can't even look at it for too long. I'm just gonna keep shoving this in your stupid fucking face. Oh, right? Oh, it's so gnarly. Look at this one. What is that? That's the inside of me. But yeah, it says everything seemed normal, but it says moderately erythematous mucosa was found in the antrum. But in English, that means that my stomach was a little red, but that was most likely due to my lack of eating. But they didn't find anything. But that still put me at ease because I was convinced that I had a hiatal hernia, which is where your stomach goes up between your rib cage, and it can be caused by smoking, which I had a history of doing. I mean, I don't smoke cigarettes, obviously, but I have a huge bong, and I'm constantly taking these huge hits of weed. So I thought that may have been the cause of my pain, but luckily this endoscopy showed that was not the case. So after that, I went to a pulmonary specialist, like a lung doctor, and it was a beautiful fucking place. Let me see how deep I am into this video. Yes, okay. I'd gone to the pulmonary specialist, and they did an x-ray and a breath test. I didn't pass the breath test, but they still didn't do anything about it. They were just like, yeah, you didn't do too well on the breath test, but my x-ray came back fine. So then I just went home, and I had found nothing after all these trips to doctors and hospitals and specialists. The only thing that they had really given me anything for was possible acid reflux, which I guess that could be the case because it seemed to get worse when I would eat fatty, sugary foods, specifically like beef and yeah, sugary foods. So I was taking the Nexium, and I've completely got off all the medications that I was showing you guys earlier, besides the Nexium, and I take the Valium when I need to. Like if I'm having a complete panic attack, like holy shit, I'm gonna die, and my breath gets short, I'll take half a Valium, and that seems to calm me down. But you pay the price, at least I do, with all the crazy vivid dreams. Did I tell you guys about the vivid dreams it was giving me in the last video? I had some. I wrote them all down, so I'm gonna make a video of going over all the Valium dreams that I've had up to this point because they're fucking crazy. So yeah. But after all those specialists, I just came home and I just waited to die or either get better. I mean, I'm definitely a hypochondriac. I've learned that through this whole situation. I'm the definition of a hypochondriac. I'm convinced that I have everything. Every time I would watch an episode of Scrubs and somebody would have one of the same symptoms that I had, I was convinced that I had that person's thing. Like, convinced. Even through the whole, Travis, don't be a hypochondriac, that's crazy. It would still stay stuck in my head hard. But yeah. But like I said, I'm definitely making an improvement. And I've developed a Cheez-It addiction in the process. Just, I don't know what's up with me. I can't stop eating the Cheez-Its. And they're a great way to put on fat, so for now, I guess that's good, but I'm getting like a box or two down every day. But I'm eating very healthy outside of that. And just lots of easy foods, lots of grains, lots of oatmeal, lots of really light cereals. And the only meat I'm getting down is, poultry, like chicken and turkey. And I'm starting to be able to get my vegetable shakes down in the morning, and I'm taking a multivitamin. I started taking the multivitamin because I started getting really lightheaded at a certain point. I want to say around the 14th or 15th. I was driving home and I was waiting at a stoplight, and I just started getting so light. I just got super fucking dizzy, and that scared the shit out of me. Made me think I had a clogged artery or something, but as it turns out, that's what happens when you don't eat enough. You get very lightheaded, and it feels like you're going to pass out. I'm going to stop this video here and then start the next part so I don't have to do it at an awkward time. So give me a second.